audience, this is our new Ag Business Management Specialist, Nate Bruce. So, any grain marketing challenges, this is the man you want to talk to. Nate?
So I just want to start out, give you guys an update on grain prices, where they're at today. Last, when I looked at noon, corn prices for December was $4.96. So it definitely has taken a wrong turn, the way that we wouldn't have wanted it to go. There was increased acreage, more expected that was planted of corn across the country, and we've had lower demand for it. I'm sure you guys saw in the news, China didn't want as much corn as they typically do and cut some export agreements. As far as corn goes, we're past the stage in the season where weather is really going to shift markets one way or the other. Right now, it's all going to come down to what the folks are saying at the field level, walking fields, what those reports are telling us. So we got to make sure we're watching that. Soybean prices on the November was $13.11 today, so they've come up a little bit. Soybean demand is increasing. Vegetable oils, renewable diesel, crush. The demand is growing for beans, but there was a lot less soybeans planted this year nationally than what was originally anticipated. So there is a chance, soybean prices may still rise going on into harvest. So keep an eye out for that. And then wheat prices for July for next year was $7.13. Obviously that doesn't have the local basis involved, but wheat prices are still very strong. Now that market seems to be completely tied to Ukraine, and that's the wild card that we have. So we just got to keep track on that and see how that plays into those prices. With that being said, this Friday the USDA World Agricultural Supply and Demand Estimate report comes out. If you're familiar with that report, you know that moves markets. So definitely keep track of what happens this Friday with that report. Make sure you're checking market prices, from Friday onwards, because as you guys know very well, since COVID started, we see these monumental shifts in market prices. I mean, there's a lot of volatility in the marketplace. And with that being said, I thought today would be a great day to just have a conversation about the back to basics of developing a grain marketing plan. So what I've handed out to you guys is a little fact sheet about developing a grain marketing plan, just some steps. I think it's really good to have these raw back to basics, conversations. We're facing market volatility like we've seen the last couple of years and this year. So the first step, first thing we need to do, we need to take what we have for sale, and we need to break that down into smaller sales units. A lot of producers like to use the 1,000 bushel mark or the 5,000 bushel mark, whatever that might be, or what they know that they can fit into a single tractor trailer load. We need to always make sure that we're marketing pre-harvest what we have insured. We don't want that risk, selling bushels that we don't have. So how do we do that? We need to find our estimated, production first. So we find out what our actual production history is, or our APH. We multiply that by the total acres we're going to plant of that commodity, whatever it might be, corn, soybeans, wheat, whatever it might be that we're putting in that field. And then we take that gives us our total estimated production. So to find our insured bushels, if we have a 75% insurance rate or 60% insurance rate, whatever it is, we multiply that estimated production. That gives us the amount of insured bushels we have to market prior to harvest. Now the second step, we want to set price points, and our price points need to be realistic. I mean, going into this year, selling $7 bushel corn, probably really lofty goal. That would be awesome. It's not going to happen. So our price points need to be really realistic. We have to make sure that it makes sense for operation and where the market is going. At the minimum, our price point for whatever commodity is that we are growing, it has to be above our cost of production. So, we should not be raising grain, period, if we can't be selling any bushels that are above our cost of production. It's not worth our time. You can have some conversations about some other things that are a lot more fun to lose money on, but this isn't one of them that we want to do that. And make sure, this isn't just, raising a crop and then taking it to the elevator during the season, but this is also post-harvest as well. So what we have in storage. There are some expenses when we put grain in storage. such as bin rental, interest expenses, and then, insurance on the storages. So make sure that that's also reflected in our price target. So for example, it's in this sheet. Let's say we have a price target for corn at $5.50. Well, to get to that price mark, we need to sell 5 equal increments of $5.30, $5.40, 550, 550, 560, and 570. I mean, obviously, that's a lot more cleaner of an example, and a lot of times the price could be up here, could be way down there, but we need to make sure that all of our sales are hitting our average farm bushel price that we want to hit. Now, I like to use baseball as an example. When I sit and talk with producers, that seems to be, grain production, baseball. It's a really good way to kind of get some of these points across. But how many guys have seen the movie Moneyball? So, they kind of say in that movie, it's not about always hitting the home run. And that's the same thing with grain marketing. You're never going to hit that home run grain sale every time, but you need to make sure you're consistent in your sales. So in this case, trying to hit your price point, it's important to hit money grain. Money grain is what you want to do. So remember that going home today. Step 3, you need to set sales deadlines. Sometimes you could sit and watch the market change over the course of the production year, and you didn't do anything. You've missed the seasonal, patterns. A lot of times, corn prices are going to be highest in the spring, and soybean prices are going to be highest in the early summer. So make sure you understand the seasonality trends so that you're being proactive about your sales throughout the year. Step 4, know your marketing tools. There's a lot of different ways that you can sell grain. You could sell cash sales, at harvest. You can sell forward cash contracts, basis contracts, and options. Make sure you know all the options available to you and what the ideal mix for your marketing strategy is. You never want to rely on too heavily one sales mechanism when you could have used a different sales mechanism to kind of buffer yourself against different marketing risks. And then last but not least, make sure you're talking to somebody else about the marketing decisions you make. A lot of times, getting somebody else's opinion or sitting around with producers at the shop or, maybe having coffee with one another, you could definitely learn what somebody else's opinion is about the market. And, you might say, that's a really good idea. Maybe I'll do that myself. With that being said, we started a Delaware Grain Marketing Club here through Extension. We met last week for the first time. We try to meet every business quarter. I invite each and every one of you guys to join us. We had some excellent discussions, and we had all 3 counties represented. It was a pretty cool program. So my contact information is on that fact sheet, and I also gave you guys out a market outlook presentation I gave at that meeting last week. So you have that PowerPoint deck, and also too we talked about crop options last week as well, and how to use them, how to incorporate them into your marketing strategy. Now I want to change gears here. Some of you guys may have received it in the mail, some of you may have not, but I sent out a farmland rental rate survey across the state. What I want to do is try to see what our average farmland rental rates are across Delaware. You guys are probably thinking at me, Nate, I don't want to give you that information. Just know that if you fill out that survey, I don't know that you filled it out. It's completely anonymous. Your information is going to be aggregated. Nobody will know that you filled it out. And what I want to do with those results is take those results, put them into a crop budget for next year, and at the risk management meeting next year in February or March, show you guys what the profitability is at different rental rates. Take a look at that and use realistic numbers. So your response to that survey would be greatly appreciated. We have surveys at the sign-in table in the Grove, so if you want to fill it out there. We also have a little QR code so you can take a picture on your phone and do it at home. If you don't want your buddies seeing you next door while we eat barbecue later, seeing what you're paying, you can do that too. And then last but not least, I handed out to you guys cost of production per acre for all the commodity crops that we grow in Delmarva. It's a bar chart. It goes across the wind's blowing it here, so I'm going to try to hold it up again. It shows our cost of production per acre going back to 2007. And we look at that, and I think, producers on the shore, we talked about input prices increasing in 2022. And that's when we started really seeing it kind of hitting our pocketbooks. But actually 2023, was the most expensive year for us to put crops in the ground across the board. And I just checked today, natural gas prices, they're going up. So what does that mean? Our nitrogen prices are probably going to go up as well. We haven't even gotten into winter where the demand is going to increase for natural gas. So we could kind of expect the same going into next year. The one thing I warned you guys about last year at the same field day was interest rates, where we're going to be at next year. And you guys are very well aware at this point that interest rates on the tail end of the operation are very high. But now we have higher inputs. It's going to be really important to budget and make sure that we have crops that can cash flow. And with that being said, talking about nitrogen, I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Leah Palm-Forster. She's going to talk to you guys about a nitrogen management tool they're working on.
All right. Hi, my name is Leah Palm-Forster. I'm an agricultural economist based up in Newark. And the teacher inside of me wants to walk around and make eye contact with all of you all, but I'll just do this awkward pacing in the middle since you're very spread out. But I wanted to take a few moments to talk to you about a new study that we have in the field right now. Some of you may have received a letter about this study, learning today how many letters you likely received from us. So we hope that you'll take time to participate. Let me tell you a little bit about it. So this particular study, it's an online study. So you can participate from your home. You do need internet access. So what you'll do is the letter that you get, you'll go online to that website and type in a unique code in order to start the study. This study is about nitrogen management decision making. Okay? So we'd like to learn from you about decisions you would make in different scenarios and different growing seasons. And it's also about the use of nitrogen modeling tools. You're probably wondering right now, why did we design an online study and try to get everyone to participate via mail from their homes? I would have loved to be able, as Amy said in the previous station, to blanket Delmarva with all of these on-farm trials. And if you know a way to get that kind of money out of USDA, you just let me know. But that would be really expensive. And we don't have those kind of funds to learn from the number of farmers we hope to learn from. So with this approach, we can reach more of you, right, and get input from more people to teach us about what you're thinking in terms of the nitrogen rates that you're using at side dress and your interest in using a nitrogen modeling tool. So the results of this study will help us to develop and inform programs that could make those tools more accessible so you could benefit from those. So if you are thinking, I don't know what she's talking about, I did not get this letter, or maybe I tossed it out, fear not. I can give you a code today. When we go back for dinner, I have the list of folks pulled up on my computer already, and I can give you a little handout that gives you the web address, your unique participant ID, and also a QR code if you feel like you like your smartphone better and you'd rather participate that way, that's okay too. So we can do that. What we're going to do just for doing the study, you get $50. And then additionally, based on the decisions you make in the study, you could earn an additional $90. So it takes about half an hour. So $140 potentially for half an hour seems like a pretty good deal to me. And I hope you feel the same and you'll give us some input and hopefully take that as a token of our appreciation for your participation. Amy, what am I forgetting? What else should I talk about in this study?
If you don't have internet access, we can arrange for you to take this survey at one of the.
Great points. So yes, if you didn't hear that, so the study I am talking about right now is the companion study that Amy mentioned for the Conservation Innovation Grant research that we're working on. There are agronomic components. This is a social science component. Again, I'm an economist. If you do not have internet access, we can certainly work with you. We are very willing to set up different events where we could, for example, come back to the Carvel Center and set up so farmers could come here. We'd be happy to do that. My number is on the flyers that I can give you at dinner, and so you're welcome to reach out. Thanks.
Any questions? Okay, let's give our speakers a big round of applause. And now we will finish our last stop with Dr. Mark Van Gessel,